We have some big news to go over today, and as the Toronto Blue Jays season inches closer and closer, they have made yet another signing this time, signing a left-handed pitcher that has not only gone under everyone's radar, but folks, is a former All-Star. We're going to break down who this player is. He is a reliever and what it means going forward for this team's bullpen. But not only that, we have some new updates and information emerging surrounding the Jays' plan for Max Scherzer. And folks, despite previous reports, he is going to be ready, or at least is planning to be ready for opening day, which now changes the outlook as to how this team is going to be preparing themselves for that March 27th or whatever the late date is game against the Oakland Athletics in their home and season debut, as well as an interesting story that leaked from Game 7 surrounding Max Scherzer and John Schneider's relationship. So, ton to go over today. But before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Jays content. You guys are an absolute beast of the support, folks. We are just a few weeks away from opening day. I'm super excited for it. But folks, last night a signing happened, and bear with me here. They have signed left-handed pitcher Joe Mantiply to a minor league deal. He'll join them in big league camp. Now, you guys might be saying, Nick, why are you talking about this? Is this a sneaky signing? Making fun of me because I say that sometimes. Bear with me here. He is a former All-Star. I didn't lie to you guys. But look at this. Last year, 15 ERA. However, in 2024, he put up a 3.92 ERA in 72 games, which is insane, very good. In 2023, a bit worse at 4.62 ERA in 35 games. And then his All-Star season, he put up a 2.85 ERA in 69 games, 2021, 3.4 ERA. Point is, he's had a couple of bad years. Last year, I believe he was injured, but a small sample size anyway. He has been very, very good and consistent for a very long time in this league. He's accumulated only a .3 WAR. It's hard to get WAR as a reliever, but this is somebody that all of a sudden instantly now propels himself into potential options for the Jays as a lefty reliever. That's the key here. He is a lefty. And you look at the Jays bullpen as it stands right now. Their only lefties are Brendan Little and Mason Flaherty. Now, Eric Lauer as well. They're probably not going to be using him. Probably be using him maybe in a 6-man rotation, which I'll have a video coming up on soon. He is an interesting guy because Joe Mantiply, folks, if you look at his savant from 2024, it's really good. And again, you can't just remove last year from the from the books, but he only had a 9. What was it? How many innings did he even pitch last year? It's a 9-inning sample size last year. Previously, a dominant year in 2024. This is a really good reliever, and he had 100th percentile chase percentage. And he induces the most ground balls in baseball. So this is somebody who does not get people with his velocity. He throws 89 miles an hour, but he could be somebody you bring off the bench to dominate lefties. I assume he's good against lefties. You can see there in the bottom left to dominate lefties and be the southpaw guy that you don't really have on this team. Now, again, he's not velocity oriented, but I watched some film. He has a nasty sinker. He has some nasty stuff, and he's not going to throw fast. He throws I don't even know, 92 miles, 88 miles an hour on average. It's crazy. And all of a sudden, you have somebody who has 100th percentile chase percentage in his last full year, can get a ton of, not necessarily strikeouts, but swing and miss, and induce very soft contact, right? And his expected ERA is some of the best in baseball. It's actually crazy. And people, again, you can't discount last year, but this is somebody who is, and it's a minor league deal. So it's absolutely, positively no risk, right? Not a single risk for this move. And I really, really like it. I really like the move because I've been clamoring for them. And this isn't the reliever that I'm hoping they get. I still hope they get a guy like Jojo Romero and trade a little bit of the prospects. But if you're going to take a flyer on somebody, may as well take a flyer on an all-star, right? May as well at this point. And somebody who had a bad year last year, you're buying low and you're getting him for absolutely no risk. And it could be somebody who, I'm not going to lie to you, I could easily see him making this team out of camp, though it might be later on in the season. You're battling with Flaherty, you're battling with some other guys. But he's had some really good years, and if he looks good in camp, there's a chance he makes a team at some point. Maybe gets assigned to AAA. We'll have to see, but I honestly didn't realize. I knew he was an all-star when I heard the name and saw him signing last night, or saw him sign last night. Sorry, didn't realize he had 100th percentile chase rate. Some really good baseball savant in his last full year. He's 35 years old. It's a 1-year deal, 6'4", 219 pounds. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. A couple other moves from camp. Adam Macko, who is going to be probably first up if they ever need another starter down in AAA. He's been optioned to AAA Buffalo Bison's roster, and Fernando Perez and Gage Stanifer have been reassigned to minor league camp. So of course they're starting to trim the herd a little bit now, and thin the herd rather, I think is the saying. So they're both gone down. Gage Stanifer looked okay, had a couple blow-up games. I like Gage Stanifer a lot. He is the Jays' 6th-ranked prospect at this point, so keep an eye out for a lot of their prospects. Arjun Amala, all these guys in spring training games. We saw a couple days ago, Addison Berger hit a home run. It's still an exciting time of camp. Starting to get a bit less exciting, but At this juncture, it's about ramping up and seeing guys like Joe Mantiply and others, as crazy as it sounds, and seeing what they do. Because tomorrow, or rather today, is an off day. Dylan Cease pitches tomorrow, followed by Barrios, Lauer in relief, Max Scherzer on Saturday. And this is all very important stuff because they're starting to line themselves up now for opening day. But speaking of opening day, Max Scherzer says he's on track workload-wise with his typical spring training build-up, and that I'll be ready for the first week of the Blue Jays regular season. Very surprising. Ben Nicholson-Smith was on record saying he might not be ready till May, April. All of a sudden now, with some of the injuries they've had and the managing of Trey Savage, they could easily have Max Scherzer opening day and have him start the first go through the roster and first go through the rotation because you have Cease, Gosman. Savage will probably still pitch 3 or 4 innings. Cody Ponce, Jose Barrios. You can have Max Scherzer piggyback off somebody. You can have Eric Lauer piggybacking. Like you can have games where you have your Savage to Lauer. You can have games where you have your Savage to Scherzer, which sounds crazy. There's so many options for this team now. But the fact that he's this ahead of schedule, shout out to 42, soon to be, I think 43 or 41, soon to be 42, whatever his age is. Max Scherzer in his mid 40s, right? Early to mid 40s, being ready opening day. He plans to pitch multiple innings this Saturday. Says he feels great and is completely over last year's thumb issues, which were plaguing him, right? That's why he got taken out of his first game after the 3rd inning, and we got to see Richard Lovelady and Jacob Burns. I was in the house for that game. This is fantastic. This is just truly fantastic news. And whether you think Scherzer is going to pitch a lot or not, and pitch good or not, it's great to have him in the locker room. It's going to end up being, I think, one of the best signings they've ever made in the ever made is crazy. This offseason, right? Of course, this is one of the best signings of the offseason for the mentorship to Trey Savage and others, especially as he deals with his big workload. And there was also another report here, a tweet from Ben Nicholson-Smith, or may have been from, let's double check here. It is from Ben Nicholson-Smith. And it is a story that we've never heard before surrounding Game 7. And he said, Game 7 of the World Series, and this is going to bring back PTSD in me, but first time I've even talked about Game 7. Bottom of the 8th, Game 7. Jays up by 1. Ohtani due up 3rd. Do you pitch to him? Schneider looked around for Scherzer and said, hey, he said, what do you got? So ultimately here, the Jays didn't. But the point is Schneider was using Scherzer as a mini coach, and you could see the trust between Max Scherzer and John Schneider is essential to the Blue Jays' success. The reason they brought him back is both to be a catcher. I'm tired, folks. I'm recording this the day before. It's very late, but it's like almost 2 in the morning. It's for Max Scherzer, it's of course both being kind of that coaching figure, but also being somebody that John Schneider relies on for pitching decisions. And it goes way beyond, like I've been saying, way beyond the initial kind of signing. But that's an interesting story to me. So it goes to show the constant communication between both sides. And also the fact that he's ready to go. I think the signing was almost one that was in the making for a while, and they just had to finalize the numbers. Obviously, it's $3 million per year base with a bunch of incentives for innings pitched from like 65 to 100, whatever, 25, 135. Folks, I'm all in. I'm all in this team. I'm excited that baseball's back. Things are going to get crazy very, very quickly. And shout out to Joe Mantiply, a sneaky good signing, even though I know you guys give me...
The closer the season creeps toward the horizon, the louder the heartbeat of baseball becomes. You can almost hear the crack of the bat echoing through the corridors of anticipation. And today that echo carries some intriguing news for fans of the Toronto Blue Jays. Welcome back to the Bluejays Report, where every rumor, signing, and strategic whisper is pulled into the spotlight and examined with the curiosity of a detective and the excitement of a fan on opening day. Because something quietly interesting happened last night, and sometimes the quietest moves are the ones that roar the loudest later. The Blue Jays have signed left-handed reliever Joe Mantiply to a minor league deal, inviting him into big league camp. Now at first glance it might seem like a small ripple in a vast baseball ocean, but look closer and you realize this ripple might just grow into a wave. Mantiply is a former all-star, a pitcher who has spent years frustrating hitters with finesse rather than ferocity. His fastball may travel at a modest pace, yet it dances like a mischievous ghost, tempting batters into chasing pitches that vanish at the last second. And if you're enjoying this breakdown here on the Blue Jays Report, take a moment to like the video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe to the channel for daily Jays coverage as the season builds towards something special. What makes Mantiply fascinating isn't raw power but deception. During his last full healthy season he produced one of the highest chase rates in baseball and induced a remarkable number of ground balls. In simple terms, hitters swing when they shouldn't and hit the ball softly when they do. For a bullpen that currently has limited left-handed options, that skill set could quietly become invaluable, especially when late-inning matchups turn into tactical chess matches. But that isn't the only storyline swirling through camp. There is growing optimism surrounding veteran ace Max Scherzer, who now appears on track to be ready for the opening stretch of the season. Earlier reports suggested his return might drift into April or even May, yet Scherzer seems determined to rewrite that script. Like a seasoned general returning to the battlefield, he's pushing through spring training with the focus of a man who still believes he has unfinished business. If Scherzer does indeed take his place in the rotation early, the outlook for the Jays suddenly feels very different. The clubhouse gains not only a pitcher but a strategist, a mentor, and a fierce competitor whose presence alone can tilt the emotional balance of a game. So as opening day edges closer, the story of this team continues to unfold with unexpected twists. A low-risk signing here, a veteran comeback there, and suddenly the season begins to feel alive with possibility. Stay tuned to the Bluejays Report, and if you haven't already, remember to like, share, and subscribe, because this journey toward opening day is only just beginning.